What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all well. Now today I'm going to go through a list of 5 of the scariest fighters on the UFC roster. And I know what you're thinking, Bisping, you're all scary. Yes, that is correct. We all fight in a cage, almost naked, trying to knock out our opponents. So that in itself probably makes you quite a scary man or woman for that matter. But however, some other people, some of the fighters, they stand out from the rest. And as I say, I'm going to give you 5 of my most intimidating today. I'm going to go through 5 to 1. Now listen, intimidation, that can come from appearance. It can come from insane knockout power. Perhaps they've got deadly, scary submission skills, or maybe they're just absolutely freaking lunatics. You never know. Anyway, so without further ado, coming in at number 5, the Iceman, Chuck Liddell. Listen, Chuck Liddell, he was the early poster boy of the UFC. He was called the Iceman by his coach, John Hackleman, because he never got nervous. He never showed that he was bothered, that he was intimidated, or even nervous going into a cage to fight in front of the world against a world-class opponent. Known for his insane knockout power, of course, a multiple-time dominant light heavyweight champion of the world, but it was the overhand right. That overhand right, that was the money shot, okay? And he was known for the haircut, for the ice cold demeanor, for the overhand right, as I say, from the insane celebrations, you know, the roar, all that type of stuff. Chuck Liddell was certainly one of the most intimidating fighters on the roster back in the day, and he beat some great fighters, Tito Ortiz, Randy Couture, Vitor Belfort, some of the biggest names back then. At one point, he went on an 11-fight streak of knockouts, right? Knockout or TKO. 11 in a row. Absolutely insane. The Iceman Chuck Liddell, Hall of Famer, will always be remembered as one of the greats in terms of mixed martial arts. But that overhand right, if that was coming to you, then you knew that you were going to be in trouble. And one opponent that was certainly intimidated or a little scared of him was Rashad Evans. Rashad Evans fought him at UFC 88 in 2008, and he saw Chuck Liddell, right? He saw him walking around the hotel all week like the man was on vacation. He was not scared, and that just intimidated Rashad, so much so that he even thought about pulling out of the fight. The nerves got to him. I'm telling you, this sport is very, very mental. It's all mental. Randy Couture had to talk him into it. He'd say, listen, he had to reassure him that everything was going to be fine. And it's kind of ironic, isn't it? Because in that fight, it was Rashad Evans that knocked him out unconscious, and then that's when Chuck Liddell kind of went on the decline. In at number 4, Quinton Rampage Jackson. Rampage by name, Rampage by nature. Let me tell you, I used to train with this guy for a long time. Very, very nice guy, wildly charismatic, absolutely hilarious, but terrifying inside the octagon. We've seen it. In fact, I talked about Chuck Liddell. Rampage knocked him out. Chuck Liddell came to a body shot, overhand right, boom, knocked him out. You know, he was known for his crazy antics. He was known for, howling and stuff when he came out to the octagon. And when he was howling, that's when he turned in his mind from Quinton Jackson into Rampage Jackson. He really felt that he had a transformation. Had a tremendous career out in Pride. You know, powerbombed Ricardo Arona. Ricardo Arona locked him up in a triangle, picked him up in the air, slammed him, knocked him out unconscious. The man went on an absolute tear. And let me tell you, when you were training with this guy, as I say, he was an intense individual. If you caught him with a shot in training, you better be careful, because he did not like it. In fact, I saw one time we were having a sparring session, not with me, with another guy, and this guy caught him with a good one, and Rampage lost his mind. So this guy, he was trying to get out of the cage, but the cage door was locked. He jumped over the fence and ran down the street, absolutely shitting his pants. Quinton Rampage Jackson, an all-time great, excellent fighter, very entertaining and charismatic, but absolutely terrifying. All right, real quick, I want to tell you about ITRUSTCAPITAL. It is a way to buy and sell cryptocurrencies while also saving for your retirement. That is right, with ITRUSTCAPITAL, with this offer, they're going to give you $100 when you sign up. And as I say, you can buy and sell crypto while investing in your IRA with the same advantages as a traditional IRA. It allows you to invest in over 24 of the most popular cryptocurrencies. And unlike the stock market, you can buy and sell 24 hours a day. Join the tens of thousands of people who are already investing in cryptocurrencies using their retirement accounts. And as I say, as a special offer to For our listeners, iTrust Capital is giving a $100 funding reward when you sign up at iTrust.capital/Bisping. With iTrust Capital, you get tax-free trading, no sign-up fee, no monthly fees, institutional cold storage security. And as I said, now $100. Start investing with iTrust Capital today by going to iTrust.capital/Bisping or hit that link in the episode description down below. All right, number 3. Who's this guy? Wanderlei Silva, the axe murderer. I mean, come on, if that's not the most terrifying nickname that you could ever have as a fighter, I don't know what is. Wanderlei Silva was a monster. When he was in that octagon, certainly back in the Pride days, the man was just an absolute savage. All-out violence from start to finish. I mean, that fight that he had against Quinton Rampage Jackson, the way that he knocked him out so savagely, laughing at him between the ropes, the way he would intimidate his opponents like this, just looking at them like he was an absolute maniac. Tattoos on the back of his head, head kicks for days, head stomps, you name it, flying kicks. The man is an absolute lunatic. And listen, Fedor Emelianenko, he may be the most famous fighter that ever came out of Pride and perhaps the most revered, but Wanderlei Silva, without doubt, was one of the most deadly. He really was. That run that he went on in Pride was absolutely ferocious. The man was terrifying. Yes, he was on steroids, but they didn't care back in Pride. And those steroids made him even crazier. Some legendary brawls, some legendary fights, and legendary intimidation, especially the stare down.
Virtually identical.
All right, in at number 2, my old friend, Anderson Silva, the Spider. Listen, this man is still considered one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest. Of course, we know there's an asterisk over his name because of some steroid use.
All you motherfuckers are on steroids.
But the performances that he delivered inside the octagon were just unbelievable. I mean, he captured my imagination from a very, very early age, and he was always a guy that inspired me, a guy that I always wanted to fight. And of course I did, and I beat him one day. And I'm going to do a video on how I was able to do that down the line, so keep an eye out for that one, how I beat Anderson Silva. But Anderson Silva, again, forged his path out there in Pride in Japan, came over to the UFC, fought Chris Lieben, absolutely destroyed him. Chris Lieben has a head like a breeze block, okay? But this guy just took him out in the first round.
It's normal.
Demolished Rich Franklin, not once but twice. Impossible to hit. I mean, he was like he was in the Matrix when he was fighting Forrest Griffin. I mean, the front kick to the face of Vitor Belfort, the way that he took him out, I mean, absolutely sensational. I'll always be a fan of him for that one. Thank you very much, Anderson Silva. And yeah, I mean, the way that he beat opponents, you know, he would have them beat before the fight even started. He would mess with them psychologically. Fighting Damian Maia, putting his hand down, trying to help him off the floor. When I fought him, at the end of the first round, I think it was, I caught him with a good left hook, almost dropped him, and he came over to give me a hug as if to say, wow, Michael, this is amazing. You land the glove on the great Anderson Silva. I was like, fuck off until the fight's over. You're my enemy. But make no mistake, watching that guy, the way that he would compete, the fluidity of his strikes, the up elbows that he landed in cage rage, the knees that he would use, the reflexes, the timing, the speed. I mean, the man was absolutely terrifying. Anderson the Spider Silva, man, forever a legend. All right, number 1. It has to go to no one else, but this man is absolutely terrifying. Yes, have you guessed? It is the current UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Francis Ngannou, the Predator, the scariest bastard on the UFC roster. Listen, I know what you're thinking. Oh, he's not been around too long or whatever. Do you want to get in an altercation with Francis Ngannou? Would you be happy if you were at a pub and the man's had too much to drink and then just starts losing his mind and starts swinging shots and going crazy? Because I tell you what, if that happens at a pub I'm in, I'm going through the fire exit ASAP. Listen, I know Derek Lewis has more knockouts, but it's just something about Francis Ngannou. The man is so powerful. One shot truly is enough to turn the lights off of anybody. Of course, the current heavyweight champion. He's getting better and better all the time. But the one that stands out in my mind, that uppercut of Alistair Overeem, absolutely unbelievable. I mean, that is forever etched on my mind, seeing that, the viciousness of that knockout. I mean, Alistair Overeem is a legend himself, a Pride Grand Prix champion, one of the best and most recognisable heavyweights in mixed martial arts history. Boom! Almost decapitated the man, sent him into unconsciousness for a very, very long time. The man is gigantic. I think he's recorded the hardest hitting punch power out of anyone on the UFC roster. Apparently something like a Ford Escort hitting you at 60 miles an hour. That stat has to be bullshit. You would die. Simple as that. But still, Francis Ngannou, the man is terrifying. And then on top of that, he's so calm. He's so calm all the time. And that's what truly makes him very scary and very frightening, because you know that this goddamn guy at any moment, I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, how do you stop that man? How do you stop that man? Francis Ngannou scares the shit out of me, and I don't mind admitting it. So there it is. There is 5 of the most dangerous, scariest fighters on the UFC roster today. What do you think? Maybe I'm missing some. Maybe I'll do another video. Let me know downstairs in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. And you take care.